So I did an interview last July and I wanted to share that with you guys. It took me a while to get this video off of Facebook and it was a horribly long process. So it was probably about 40 minutes long. I've condensed it to about 20 minutes. We're doing chipmunky voice because I really think chipmunk voice is hilarious. So a la Fred style, have fun, enjoy.
Let's go. Lost all our viewers, but it's okay because this is a story we need to tell. We are adding Vanessa as we speak. She'll be right on. What the fuck is up, Denny? There you are, girlfriend. What is up? How are you, Vanessa? How are you doing?
I hear double.
You hear double? Okay, that's there we go. Yeah, it takes a little time. So what's going on? How you been? I'm loving the earphones. Amazing. So emo of you.
Hold on. I hear
way too distracting to say your story.
All the stories.
Well, so
I got this big headset going on. I had the little earbuds. I had everything set up. Now I'm How are you? How's everything?
It's been a roller coaster. All right, we've been keeping it fucking sad 100%. I'm so kind of like flabbergasted that you just joined the group. But I was talking to you the other day and you told me about your friends list, about the size of your friends list. So then it wasn't so surprising, right? How many friends do you have, Vanessa?
Yeah, I've got 280 something. I'm not huge on Facebook. I went from like being the huge persona and everybody knowing me to being like, I don't really want to do anything in the limelight anymore.
Wow. And okay, so first of all, right, we got no time to waste. All right, we need to know, how did you, all right, La Reina de Lima, how did you get into emo music? And why do you love it and appreciate it as we do?
As we do. So emo music started off back when I was like in middle school and high school, back in like the 2000 era and stuff like that.
Early.
It was really early. Now, the first show I ever saw was at Sal's Pizza. If there's any like old school people in here, you'll know that Sal's Pizza was the place to be when it came to shows. So it was always something to like look for. It's
funny that you mentioned that because earlier in the month, somebody shared some old like covers, like the flyers. They still had them, so that's the only reason why I was able to tell.
If it seems like I'm a little off, it's because the audio is kind of lagging a little bit, but I get the gist of what you're saying. I promise.
So where does the emo phase come into play?
I think like a lot of us losers, if you will, that were growing up in Laredo, we were the outcasts. Yeah. Some of us were in bands, some of us didn't do anything. I didn't see too many jocks, if you will, into the emo stuff. You saw a lot of the outcast kids, a lot of the kids that were just kind of out doing their own thing, trying to do something or other, just anything. We didn't have like, I just had somebody mention the juice stop. Yes, I remember the juice stop. Definitely, that's probably one of the first places I remember going. As far as like free shows.
Yeah, and I would say you were immersed in it at an early age, going to Sal's, juice stop. You're going down like emo nostalgia right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the great thing about you, what a lot of people don't know, is that you essentially really not only were the first one that really embraced the emo culture and the scene, but you took it a step far. You were like, I'm not just going to be part of the scene, right? I'm not just going to be a voyeur. I was a voyeur, and I was one of those jocks. I was a closeted emo until I was like 28. Okay, I just said, you know what, fuck it. All the music I was listening to was emo, so I think that makes me a fucking emo, right? But you took it a step further, Vanessa. So tell us what it is that you tried to encapsulate and what it is that you eventually ended up doing.
So I wanted there to be a place where we could all kind of convene, hang out, have music, because music was the soul of everything to us. In high school, I think anything that bonded us more than music. When we had the ability to have our CD player right next to us, and you have your earbud, you share the earbud with your homie, and you all would be like listening to like your dashboard confessional CDs together, just weeping it out. Like I wanted there to be that, but somewhere where we could all be, and not just one school, because Laredo was one of those places where you have your cliques inside of high school. And then you have the high schools themselves as cliques of their own.
It was weird. It was strange, yeah.
I had to find a way to like infiltrate every high school when I was like a senior. And then after I had graduated, it was kind of weird because I still had to infiltrate these high schools all like sort of creeper. But by then there were enough people around to be like, hey, we believe in you. We believe in the bands that you're bringing in and stuff. So we want to help you. We want to take your flyers and pass them around school. It also helped I worked at Hot Topic as my first job. So it was really easy for me to stay there.
That is amazing.
Oh yeah, I was like the emo package. It was definitely triumphant. It became this big, huge success when I realized that people actually knew who I was. Yeah. It was not just me, but it was the encapsulation of what I had built. But you
weren't just known. Yeah, you weren't just known as Vanessa. You were known as LoveHateVanessa because you ended up making like a freaking. You ended up signing bands onto a record label and stuff. Like you were thinking like, you were aiming for the stars with this whole fucking emo vibe. But there was, you know, with the culture of emo, there was a lot of backlash. But so what I want to get into are your shows. What was the scene like? You know what I mean? What kind of people came to a Love Hate Vanessa emo show?
You know, I want to say the same people came, and that's the best thing that I could say is that the same people would come to every show, and that was such an honor because they would come and they believe in the bands I brought. And I'll tell you that there were these instances where sometimes these same kids would show up and they'd be $1 short, $2 short. Sometimes they'd have a pocket full of change to give me. And I told them, you know what, that loyalty, that grand loyalty, come on in, just come on in. You know, come enjoy the time, come have a good time. That's what it's about, is enjoying the music. I brought these bands in. It was never so much the money. It was actually never the money because I was a nonprofit. So I never got a cent of it. But the whole, like, I signed bands, I got to tour with bands. They were always little local Texas bands. And I did it because I wanted to, again, immerse myself deeper into this scene. I really wanted to make something. I really wanted to be a complete package when I brought a band to Laredo. Yeah. I didn't want it to feel like you were in someone's backyard. Not all the time. Sometimes, yes. Not all the time.
It's fun.
I wanted it to feel, I wanted it to feel like you were going to a concert. Like there was this big open playing field. And there were so many, like, just great bands showing up. And my favorite shows were definitely, like, the Winterfest, Summer Bashes, where we had, like, 12 bands playing all day.
Well,
you get there.
That is insane.
12 bands.
I mean, the logistics of it is hard enough, you know what I mean? But you were, like, fucking full throttle, man. You know what I mean? But I think it was kind of weird because you and I were having, like, a conversation and you were telling me some stories that very much fit the mold. Like, you know, if you were emo, there was a good chance you were bullied. And you kind of, in the scene, just trying to make a fucking difference, trying to, you know, create this environment that was all inclusive. You got some serious fucking backlash, and you have some fucked up stories to tell, right? So without mentioning any names, what are some of the things that you experienced as being Love Hate Vanessa and kind of putting yourself out there as this, like, emo enigma at the time?
Yeah, so the first thing was, like you said, the word emo became very derogatory. Nobody wanted to be associated with the idea of what emo was or what it was going to become or what sort of, like, handsy little things that you do. Yeah. Now, I took that and I ran with it, and people called me the emo princess. And, well, it was very fitting at the time.
So you have surpassed princess. Now you are fucking the reina, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I fully become crowned at this point. Yeah. So I even took that as derogatory at the time. You know, I was like, I'm not the emo princess. I am Love Hate Vanessa. I curate music. I bring all sorts of different music. I wasn't just into emo music. I was into metal, into hardcore. I was into, like, just music. I don't like country. I can't do country. I'm sorry.
It's kind of funny. You don't know this, but we shared a story. We shared a story about me and Alfred. Do you remember Alfred Gonzalez?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, there's a story about me and Alfred taking our drunk friend home. And he's actually got a shirt of a specific band. And I was hoping, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it had a little heart, a little blue heart. And I forget what that blue band that was. We, like, loved them. And you were the one that brought them.
A blue heart. I can always think of, like, the really good bands, which was, like, Red Letter Union. There was the Planning Fallacy.
Yes.
There was the Planning Fallacy. Oh, we're so good. There was Red Letter Union. There was Red Letter.
It was Red Letter, yeah, he was wearing that. There's a picture where I'm holding up drunk-ass Oscar, and Alfred is standing next to me, and he's got a Red Letter Union shirt that he got at your show. So, the bullying thing, because I think it is important to realize that it wasn't all, like, sugar and cupcakes for me, like, doing this, because I got a lot of backlash as the emo princess. Something about Laredo and the cliques that formed were also the different type of production companies that formed. There were some that were there for a really long time before me, which the reason why I started Love Hate Records and Productions was because I wanted to bring something different. Something all-inclusive, something where you felt good to be around your friends at. Not a place where, at the time, drinking and smoking and drugs and all sorts of shenanigans that, at the time, just weren't in good interest for anybody at our age. But there's a certain situation or a certain instance where I actually got invited out to one of these production shows. They treated me like the emo princess that I was. They gave me free drinks. Everything was cool. Oh, my God, my film better not die. So, at the end of the night, I'm getting ready to go home. I'm saying my goodbyes. I had such a great time. And for that reason, I started my car, at least I'm trying to start up my car. Well, the car wouldn't start. So I'm freaking out. This is like a brand new car to me. It's like my first car. I think I'd only had it for like a year or something. And we end up like just taking a look over. Well, we see that my gas, like little like port thingy, my gas pump area, it had been opened. Well, somebody poured syrup and sugar into my gas tank. What?
Into my gas tank. Completely fucking up my entire car.
My God. That to me, that to me is like quintessential, like the type of shit a typical emo kid would have dealt with, you know what I mean? And that's just taking it to a whole nother level. And one of the comments that I wanted to make about companies, because I know more or less what you're talking about. Look, and you needed to be like a type of person to be in with that crowd, you know what I mean? And if you went to their show, I remember going to the shows and I didn't feel totally comfortable, you know what I mean? Like who's this? Like, we know this kid fucking plays baseball, like why the fuck is he here? And there were some of those shows where I felt a little like, it's kind of dicey, you know what I mean? It's a little hardcore for my taste. You know what I mean? It was older guys. It was kind of intimidating at times, you know what I mean? But I remember going to your shows and just having a fucking muck, you know what I mean? Like at the warehouse and stuff. I mean, that shit was fucking fun, dude. I loved them, and I went to go see some of my bands. Some of my highlights were Another Dead Girl, you know what I mean? There were other bands, you know what I mean? But that was one of the ones that I remember. Split Ends also was a big one that I remember, who I enjoyed very much. You know what I mean? So those are the two that really stuck with me because I mean they were we had some great musicians in those bands, and they were making some pretty cool fucking music. And you were at the fucking
it was pretty fun. I wanted to get the music out so bad. I wanted everybody and anybody to hear that music and just kind of be aware that this was emo. It was there. It was anywhere. Unfortunately, 15 years later, it is in the past. I can't find anything anymore. But then,
so what do you think caused the? Yeah, but what do you think caused like that surge? Like it peaked so hard and then it like crashed so fast. Like what happened? Where did it go?
Where did it go? I don't know what happened. I think that a lot of it has to do with technology. I mean, back then we were distributing flyers by hand. It wasn't until MySpace that came around that I started kind of getting into the more of the promoting online thing. But at that time, you realize that record labels or people like myself were about to get cut out as a middleman with MySpace there. With bands being able to promote their own stuff, there was no need for me anymore. I was going to become extinct. So I had to jump ship before I went under. And I kind of wished it farewell and said I'd do it again if the chance ever kind of presented itself.
Yeah.
But Laredo's scene kind of just went, I don't know what happened to it. I really don't.
And
I left.
It was kind of sad because, I mean, when we listened to emo, when it was the biggest part of our lives, it kind of disappeared too. Like, it kind of faded just all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And it wasn't as big as it was, you know what I mean? Like, even, where's My Chemical Romance right now? Where's TBS? You know, I know the Used had a new album, but, you know, no one's on, you know, main page right now. At least I'm not the fucking Used, you know what I mean? Even here, it was kind of, like, unknown. So I think it was this, like, sad decline. And I think that's why this group takes you to that very, very special time. And it was pivotal times as far as age and growing and learning and understanding and falling in love and being fucked up and doing drugs and shit. So I think that's the nostalgia. And we know that it'll never, ever, it'll never be the same. It'll never come back. It's just, we can attempt it, right? We can say like, hey, let's have some emo cover band or something, which is what I've been trying to do. Yeah, but you know, it's a thing of the past. We're trying.
We all grew up.
We're trying.
We're split ends. Find Jared. Somebody find Jared. I know there's got to be someone in there that knows Jared. Where'd he go?
And
it'd be awesome to have some sort of reunion show.
Yeah, and we're kind of hoping, like, post-COVID or something, we can get our shit together quick enough and just take over fucking AJ's and just have a fucking emo night. They'll be like, well, is it going to up 350 people?
Is it going to generate revenue?
Yeah, 350 people at they'll come, dude. They will fucking come. The emos will come in flocks. Fucking sad as fuck.
Why don't you go try to do the dugout? That's how I started.
Hey, man.
I wanted to still have shows at the dugout.
I'm down for whatever. You know what I mean? As long as there's air conditioning. Because fuck, some of those shows were rough during the summer. Holy shit, it was hot.
Well, that was the big thing. You know, we had to go in there and set up those shows, like put up stage and lights, and even though it was like shitty stages and shitty lights, we still had to go in there and clean up and stuff. And yeah, it was brutal. Those summers were brutally hot. But there was something about that sweat dripping down your back and seeing all those bands play at the end of the night.
I just want to read one of the comments right here. Paulie Carpio says, Vanessa's a fucking pioneer. You damn right she was a fucking pioneer. I mean, she was full throttle.
Thank you.
And that's why I thought it was so important. You know what I mean? I thought it was necessary that if this is a homage to emo, and really this is a Laredo emo group that has just expanded. You know what I mean? And there's culture to it. That's why it's cosa sad and not sad thing. Super sad. You know what I mean? So I felt it was necessary that we hear it from none other than LoveHateVanessa, now La Reina del Emo. That's the nostalgia, and we know that it'll never, ever, it'll never be the same. It'll never come back. It's just, we can attempt it, right? We can say like, hey, let's have some emo cover band or something, which is what I've been trying to do. Yeah, but you know, it's a thing of the past. I just want to read one of the comments right here. Paulie Carpio says, Vanessa's a fucking pioneer. You damn right she was a fucking pioneer. I mean, she was full throttle. And that's why I thought it was so important. You know what I mean? I thought it was necessary that if this is a homage to emo, and really this is then LoveHateVanessa, now La Reina del Emo.
I'm the princess. I've been upgraded. But my people, we all upgraded me. Thanks. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So let me just let's do a little fun things. Off the top of your head, what's the first emo band that comes to fucking mind? Right now.
Right now, Under Oath. Come on now. Like, that's an easy one. I feel like that one, and I'll tell you because a lot of the nostalgia that we've been talking about, a lot of the bands covered Under Oath.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can still hear the feedback from those monitors going off, and the really raunchy, scratchy, nasty screams that came out of some of these kids. But it was so raw and it was so good.
It was fun.
Every show was so good.
I remember those shows, and it was a lot of fun. At the time, it was like, well, it's a rediscovery. You know what I mean? To find out that you were very much this type of person. And now it's a running joke that everybody here's sad, but it's always a celebration in Cosa Sad to be emo, dude. We're proud of it. It's like we're 31. There's no one to impress anymore. You know what I mean? We're married. We got kids. Whatever. You know, we're fatter. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are we gonna impress? You know what I mean? It's like, let's just enjoy it. Let's enjoy the depression. Let's share some sad songs, and that's it. You know what I mean? Over here, Yvonne Martinez with Heart. Do you know Yvonne Martinez?
That's Bonnie. That's homegirl. Yeah, homegirl. Thanks for showing up.
I actually worked with you at Best Buy. You don't remember because I was there for Blink-182. Yeah, I was freezing. Yeah, I did the Black Friday shit. That shit was crazy. Remember that shit? That shit was rowdy. It was fun. It was just
For 7 years, I did that.
Wow, that was a long time. Bless your heart.
Yeah, 7.5 years with Geek Squad. That was, it was fun.
Why don't you share a funny story? Share us one funny story off the top of your head about fucking emo shenanigans, dude. I know you got one.
Oh, man. It's not funny. It's more like just, it's a little drama, a little adventure to it. So, we were having a show at the warehouse. It was, I think it was Winterfest, actually, so we had the stage set up. Everything's good. We end up having a show the week before Winterfest, actually, and this is the one that I'm talking about, is, for whatever reason, some of those people from the other team came over and were like, well, we'll pay your $3 cover charge to get in. And here I am going like, I really don't want your money, please don't be here. Of course, like, all inclusive. They had alcohol with them. I wasn't down with it. They end up finding, we had some, like, what band was it? Quincas?
Okay.
I think they opened. They were this, like, raunchy little, like, gutter punk band. And they opened, but they brought these people with them who then grabbed a stroller. And I see the Rays in here, because I'm pretty sure Rays didn't remember this, but they grabbed the stroller from outside, they dragged it inside into the mosh pit, and they set it on fire. They legitimately fucking set a spinning stroller on fire inside a wooden warehouse.
Yeah, dude.
And all I'm doing is, as punk rock as it sounds, I'm going to jail forever. This place is going down, I'm burning, I'm going to hell. So yeah, that's one of the stories. There's plenty more. We should do this again, shoot the shit, to talk about, music and stuff.
Sure. This is just the beginning. I just want to say thank you for doing this. It was important that we take a look back into what started it all, at least here. You know what I mean? And you are very much, I really can't think of anybody else that has more importance and more, reverence for that theme than you. So from the bottom of our sad fucking hearts, I can say thank you, Reina. We love you. We pray to you. We pray to you.
Yeah, you have to make me one of those candles and really pray to me. My head there, the Love Hate Records part, it'll be great. It'll be great. Just kidding.
So are you still in Laredo?
Nope, I'm here in Austin. I live in Austin. I've been here for 9 years, almost 10 years. So yeah.
Seems like all the weirdos from Laredo flock to Austin. Unfortunately, I just never made the leap. I've been there plenty of times. Trust me.
Come visit.
Oh, dude.
Come visit.
Well, not now.
Not
now. Fuck no.
Oh, yeah,
I go goddamn ass down 6th Street. Fuck that shit.
You're not supposed to go down 6th Street at all.
No.
It's so gross right now.
I know. It's terrible. And I encourage everybody that's watching this, stay safe, especially people in Laredo. Stay home. It's pretty bad out there. People are dying. Wow. That's how we're going to leave off. People are dying. Thank you.
I know. So sad. Super sad. Like, geez.
Well, again, Vanessa, I just thank you for coming on here. I hope you stick around, and I hope you find some fucking gems, because I know you got something on a hard drive or in a folder or some shit that you can share.
Say,
all right, so
I got, it's the archive. If you look into my YouTube, it's just LoveHateVanessa, search it. Look at my old stuff. I do a lot of vlogs now, not important. But look at my older stuff, and I have a whole treasure trove of a bunch of warehouse shows, raunchy, just terrible music. Terribly good music.
It's just so raw. Like somebody wasn't EQing that shit, right? But there was a certain je ne sais quoi that it gave it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly what made it perfect, was that it was raw.
So raw.
Somebody back there was a real person actually tweaking shit, not like a robot these days.
Yeah. Great introduction to the roots, to La Reina del Emo. We love you, girl. Thank you so much for doing this from the bottom of my heart, like, in all honesty. Thanks, man. Like, I know it's, you're not totally, like, into the limelight and stuff, but I felt like this group needed it.
Yeah. Before we go, I do want to say, I want to thank everybody that's here right now, and anybody and everybody that ever went to a show. It was never for me, it was always for you guys. Like, putting things together was always for the kids. It was always for friends, and I'm so happy, and I couldn't have done it without a couple people. And I know one of them is in the chat room, so I do want to call him out. So Ray Ortiz Jr., thank you, because his uncle actually owned that warehouse, so we did a lot of shows. So I could not have done it with and then there was a lot of other people that helped me promote and do all this. Hopefully we'll get to see them in here and
of course.
One time. So
of course.
Thank you for having me.
It's been good. Keep it sad, Vanessa. Everybody else, keep it sad. We gotta go. Bye.